He's got the no-trade clause in his contract. He must sign off, ultimately, on any team he's going to be traded to. So he's going to help steer where ultimately he winds up. In fact, he's going to decide. Now, the teams have to be comfortable with him, which they appear to be. They have to be comfortable with the compensation that they're going to give up to Houston. But Atlanta is behind the scenes and has been behind the scenes. We've heard all along that there are other teams involved. Well, the Atlanta Falcons are one of those teams. And what's interesting, of course, is that they have Matt Ryan in place. But Matt Ryan does not have a restructured contract, contrary to what's been out there. It has not been turned in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, really? It has not been turned in. So if they traded him away, there would be dead money, but they also would save $8.75 million.
Okay.
So if they got Deshaun Watson, then, of course, you go and you flip Matt Ryan, who also, by the way, has a no-trade clause and could decline to be traded to a team that would need a quarterback like Indianapolis, like Seattle.
Okay, so
those teams out there.
So hearing that, I didn't know that. Hearing that, no-brainer for Atlanta, in my opinion, to try to do this. You're not taking the meeting unless you're comfortable bringing Deshaun Watson 100%. On anyway.
Yep.
I think the reality, though, is Atlanta's in at least a 2 or 3 year rebuild, right? I mean, they don't have a starting wide receiver. So I think for Atlanta, sitting there going, can we get away from Matt Ryan and tell Deshaun, hey, this is going to be a long journey. Deshaun, it's interesting because out of the teams that we're entertaining, the New Orleanses, Carolina, the Cleveland Browns, Atlanta's probably the worst situation when it comes to winning right now. You know what I'm saying?
Where he's from that area.
For sure. But I think if you're Atlanta, if you believe that you can go get relatively good value out of Matt Ryan, I think you try to make that happen. And for sure, I didn't know there was the no trade clause in his contract, nor there is no restructure of a deal. That's a big deal.
It's important. Before you go here, I do think it's important, too, to think about the price. You talk about a rebuild. We're talking like
I'll give you 3
first-round
I'll give you
picks
3 ones and say thank you.
And maybe more, right? Like
I'll give you 4 ones. For Deshaun Watson, I'll give you 4.
Yeah, interesting. Go ahead.
I need to ask Schefter a question.
Go ahead.
Schefter, so
he's asking her.
He's asking me. Yeah.
I always ask Boogie because
that's why I love you.
The NFC South, right, Schefter? You got Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta. What does that do to the price?
Well, it's interesting because I think that there are general parameters that are agreed to. But I've thought of this. I think that probably going into those conversations, I would think the Texans could say, listen, if you don't want to pay the price, Atlanta, Carolina and New Orleans.
You're saying because they're within the division.
That's what I'm saying.
And by the way, if it's a situation where you don't get Deshaun Watson, not only are you not getting him,
someone in your division
him twice a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, dude, you know how it go when you go to buy a house. Like it's, this one is 2.4 next door.
Right.
I'm not paying 2.8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got 3 teams in one division, and
it's almost like it's that first-round pick holding on to allow them to stay in the division.
Bro, like, because we just came off and talking 3 1s, 4 1s, but it could get stupid. That's why I asked you that question.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's absolutely going to get stupid, and it should. You don't get opportunities to get quarterbacks like this in the prime of their careers. And that's why there is such a market for Deshaun Watson, even with some things that are unpredictable happening outside of football. This is a dude that we watched on a team in the Houston Texans that was a dysfunctional organization, and he continued to play at a high level each and every week. And that's the film that these other teams are watching. They believe they become contenders.
Playoff team.
They believe they become contenders if they have Deshaun Watson. And so if you are the Atlanta Falcons, if you are the New Orleans Saints, if you are the Carolina Panthers, you are putting together whatever package you can to get this man on your team. But the price of Deshaun Watson goes up every conversation he has with a new team, especially within the division.
Just a reminder of the exact situation going on. He's having these meetings on Zoom, right, because he's being deposed.
Yeah, and I think the teams have all made their marks on him, and I think he's made marks on them. And, again, it's just a question of where he's going to want to go and where he sees the best fit going forward.
And two, like the other part of this is like, what is the NFL going to do? As well. Like that is.
I know we got to go. Schefter, so you think ultimately this is going to come down to Deshaun's decision?
This will be Deshaun's decision.
He has that in his contract.
He's basically a free agent.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.